Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. The covert narcissist tactics of suppressing your emotional needs. When we think of suppression, we should think of the quieting, the lessening, or the annihilation of, the subjugation of, the elimination of, the vanquishing of those emotional needs, those needs. So suppression means to hold down, basically keep from occurring, basically to keep from addressing, to avoid, to deny, to exclude, to suppress. So just as when you have a cough and you take a cough suppressant, you are taking that cough syrup as a means of suppressing the cough, to get rid of it, to eliminate it, to stop it from occurring. Much the same way, the covert narcissist will have a manipulation and control tactic of suppressing your emotional needs by not acknowledging them, by not having empathy for them, by not attending to them, by not giving voice to them, by not giving reality to them, and they blatantly suppress your needs, neglect your needs through the act of suppressing them, meaning avoiding communication, avoiding addressing, even normal basic communication needs such as good morning, hello, how are you today, how is your day, tell me what's going on, good to see you, what's for dinner. These sort of basic open-aired exchanges are completely slimmed down in the tactics, the manipulation and control tactics of the covert narcissist. Essentially refusing to give you what you need. They know what you need, however, they do not even want to go there. They just want to outright refuse it, refute it, and basically pass over it as a way to keep you down, control, less than what you are supposed to be becoming. And a viewer had noted that the covert narcissist and how they do this to their children is they really end up derailing them for much of their life. And this is very true, because if you do not raise a child with communication, with discussion, with learning, you're really inhibiting a lot of their very fundamental, essential, and basic life skills, such as the ability to socialize, the ability to communicate, the ability to have a vocabulary, the ability to make friends, to make acquaintances, to gain belonging. First of all, within a family, oftentimes the child and the spouse of a covert narcissist do not really feel a sense of belonging because of they're so suppressed that they feel like they're not even part of a family unit. They're not part of a couple unit. They're not part of a parental unit. They're not part of a family sort of organization or structure. It's a complete feeling of disintegration and dysfunction. So it's very important, because oftentimes the spouse and or the child feels like they're very much missing out on something very basic, such as basic instruction, basic guidance. They might teach them to drive, but there's not a lot of other erudition or teaching going on. There's not a lot of other communication. It's really the ultimate minimum, which is depriving of the child and really hinders quite a degree of their learning, socialization, and they're really feeling safe, because a child intrinsically knows that they are not receiving something. They have a natural innate ability as a child to attend to their parents. They love their parents. Their parents provide them the food, shelter, housing. Likewise with your spouse, we're in this together. This is, we're like this, and intrinsically the child, maybe even before the spouse, knows something is just not right. Something is wrong. Something is not appropriate here. So what ends up happening is the child has to go and almost attend to the parent more so than their own needs. They have to almost parent their parent before they're even a child themselves. They have to, watch their parents, study their parents, and realize that there's either fighting going on or there's no communication going on. It's almost like a puppy. If you've ever had a puppy and, you first bring them home and they're maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks old, they're crying, they're whining in their kennel or their cage, and they want some attention. They don't know where they are. So they're like, pick me up. And then you go pick up the puppy and then he's like, and then, he's like calms down and he feels safe again. And then you're like, oh, good puppy, and then you walk away, and then the whining cries, and then they're like, am I all alone? They're a puppy. They're trying to learn their environment. And so their voice is coming out. As they say, I had a gal tell me yesterday, the closed mouth does not get fed. So it's just like a child who is in a state of need, emotional need, physical need, psychological need, spiritual need, all these things. And then the child, has to then approach the parent and almost like raise the parent or tell the parent what they need. And oftentimes the parent will just act in outright neglect, which is a horrible, horrible syndrome. Yet it's very indetectable, especially from a legal standpoint. In other words, there might not be a physical abuse, a bruise, on their arm from being beat up, a black eye from being beat up. However, there's an emotional wound which is even deeper, which is even more pronounced and hurtful and painful, which can go undetected to the eye, but yet the symptoms emerge from both the child and the spouse as they, become silent and more depressing and have more depression feelings, anxiety feelings, feelings of loss, feeling of lack. And this starts to pervade their whole mentality, their whole basically ethos, their whole identity, their whole personality then becomes in the state of lack. So they're coming from this pervasive sense of lack and being without, and I am without, and I am lack. So what happens is then this child and then the spouse feels like that they then begin to, lose that vitality, that very substance of their personality is eventually eaten away. And then, they're going into the world feeling this tremendous sense of lack and loss, and there's, something is not right, yet they can't quite erudiate it, they can't quite enunciate it, they can't quite pinpoint it until they realize this is what's going on. And it's very interesting. Oftentimes the child of a covert narcissist will be able to pick up and identify in this right away early in their life when they realize that they are not receiving something very fundamental that they need. So if this is indeed the case, please become aware of it, acknowledge it. That is sometimes the first step, is becoming aware of it, and then practicing some of the tools here we discuss in this channel about how to overcome that with affirmations and giving yourself new experiences and the recovery date and the recovery gift. All these combined together help to rewire your mind from a conscious standpoint, which is your neocortex. It also helps rewire your mind from an emotional standpoint, which is your limbic brain, which gives you that feeling of experience, new experience in the world, that of acceptance, understanding, and experiential knowledge, which your body can feel in the form of an emotion. When you start to feel, aha, I understand, aha, I'm coming to peace, aha, I'm becoming stable now, aha, I'm becoming healed. And then that can, in turn, with repetition, it's going to take some time, it's going to take review of this and going through these consistently for some time. Then you're going to actually be able to rewire the cerebellum, which is the oldest part of our mind. Fantastic structures here, absolutely miraculous. But then it'll become so much part of us in our everyday life that we'll then begin to be able to rewire our mind, our thinking, our beliefs, our experience, and our emotions, and our feeling in our bodies, therefore our experience and our identity and place in the world. I know that this is a lot. It's very exciting. I hope you are able to follow this and play the video and these tools again several times, and I think it's going to start to gel. It will start to make sense. And please feel free to comment with any specific questions so that I can address those in future and upcoming videos. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.